What's up, guys? Simone Fan 101 here, and I'm sorry I haven't made any videos in a while. I've been a little bit busy. I've been trying out some new things. I've been trying to look for a job. It's part of it. But yeah, for me, it's no excuse to not be doing any reviews. I'm currently playing catch up, as you guys know, with reviews. Quick update on that. I am going to be doing, just to kind of knock them out easier, instead of going one by one. I've been thinking with the shows that I need to review that are not annual. I'll review like a show, like there's like a show from the year prior, and then I'll review next year's show. For example, on my list of like wrestling reviews, I have the last year's Survival of the Fittest tournament, which comprises of 3 shows. This year we got one, except it was comprised of 1 show. And I'll do the Survival of the Fittest 2017 and then the 2018. Same thing with Ring of Honor Final Battle. I'll review last year's Final Battle and then this year's Final Battle. So just to give a quick update on that, I've been busy. I'm doing this thing where I'm watching all the Godzilla movies, up to the release of Godzilla King of the Monsters, because if you know me, I'm a big Godzilla fan. Sadly, I have not seen all the movies, so I want to try to rectify that. And I plan on doing a review for every single Godzilla movie at some point. Now, with that said, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about something it's been weighing on my mind. And I actually did not think to make a video about this until just a few minutes ago, where all my rage and frustration has completely boiled over, and I'm sick to death of it. And I feel like I need to vent somehow. And, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Just gonna, the best way to point it, SJW in movies need to stop. Just cold, dead, bury it in the ground with the hardest concrete in the world that you can find. And maybe blow it up too, for good measure, with a friggin' nuclear missile. SJW in films need to stop. I've had it. It's been 2 years since this bullshit started. And I have fucking had it. This is getting ridiculous. How many times have us people, us the fans, at home, in film studios, in film school, Prince of Strong Style, he's my friend online, he's going to film school right now, and he should know, because he actually, he's going to film school, and he studies up films. That's obviously what you do in film school. And I know he's probably going to listen to this video with a little bit of attention, because he doesn't like it pretty much as I do. In fact, I might hate it even more because of how it affects me. As these movies, a lot of these movies tend to belong in my childhood. I grew up with several of these things. And look at what the SJW films have done. Look what they did. I didn't really... Now, granted, this was 4 months ago when a photo for a certain film came out. And only now have I found out about it. I don't know how I've been able to kept in the dark for this long. I don't know how that's happened. But I found out. And understandably, I am not happy. I am not happy one bit about it. And after the reveal trailers and the marketing campaign for Captain Marvel, I gotta get it all out of my system. I need to get it all out of my system right now. Where to begin? Well, I guess the best way to begin is 2 years ago, back when all of this really started with Ghostbusters. Now, if you remember, Ghostbusters, the all-famed classic from 1984, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, God, what's his name? The guy who played what's the black guy's name? I forget. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, there's him, and God, how am I forgetting? He played Sergeant Albrecht in The Crow. Oh, whatever. I feel like a racist because I don't remember his name. Oh God, I feel bad. But you get it. The movie, a great hit. It was a 1980s hit. Came out with a sequel, maybe probably not as good, but I do enjoy it to a degree. It's still Ghostbusters, still the original guys doing their thing. You know, had a big following. They decided to reboot a couple of years ago after a bunch of political wrangling backstage, so to speak, with my wrestling lingo here. They decided to turn what was originally Ghostbusters 3 into an all-female cast reboot. Now, as soon as this happened, I was personally against it. I was personally against it. And a lot of other people, too, were too. Now, granted, there were a few people who didn't like it because they don't like the all-female cast thing. But a lot of people, myself included, as time went on, hated it because, you know, well, for me, all you're doing is replacing it with female characters. I'm like, that seems to be underhanded. And underhanded it was. Because as what we ended up seeing in theaters was not too good. Now, granted, I have not seen the movie. And believe it or not, I refuse to see the movie. I refuse to see the movie. Because if you're a fan of Midnight's Edge, which I am, on YouTube, and if you know all the political backstage bullshit that happened behind the scenes during the making of the movie, you will know that exactly why I don't want to see it. I've heard a couple good things about it. I have no doubt about that there probably are a couple good things, but that doesn't make up for the fact that the movie was an unmitigated disaster when it came out in theaters in 2016. And yeah, part of it was the recasting all-females thing. That was part of it. But the other part of it was that the trailers didn't make the movie very good. In fact, it made your movie look like shit. Absolute shit. It made your movie look bad. And it didn't help that Sony went out of its way to manipulate it in a way where people, or guys who didn't like the movie, were sexist, misogynist pigs. Even though there were plenty of women who didn't like the trailers just as much as the men. You can look it up. Look it up. Look at what happened to the female critics of the movie. Nothing happened to them. Then look at James Rolfe. I'm a big fan of the Angry Nerd, as any guy who listens to his work. But look at what happened to James Rolfe. He said he didn't want to see the movie. He had very legitimate reasons to do so. Was very polite about it. Didn't, incite a riot. Until I guess apparently he did. Because, oh boy, he became the face of everything that was wrong in the eyes of the Kool-Aid drinking idiots at Sony Pictures who were making the movie. Now, what happened? Amy Pascal, thankfully, fell out of power after the whole Sony hack a few years ago. Thankfully, she was booted. She's now working in subservient with Marvel, which is hilarious that, one of Sony has been having Spider-Man movies for years. What does she do? Go make a Spider-Man movie. Okay, I'm getting off topic. I'm getting off topic because that's not what I want to talk about. I'll get to Marvel in a bit, but that's not what I want to talk about. Yeah, it was a disaster. 2 years later, apparently, Melissa McCarthy, who, by the way, I think is a hack actor, maybe she's made a couple good movies, I don't really care. Because, from what I've seen of Melissa McCarthy, she is a complete, maybe gold digger is probably not the word for it, maybe a name digger. She constantly gets her name out there. I haven't seen her do a damn thing since Ghostbusters. Now, granted, it's only been 2 years. Things can happen. But I haven't seen her do much of anything since that movie. I haven't seen any of those actors, Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon, do much of anything. The only actor who went on to do any sort of work that's big is Chris Hemsworth. And he was already Thor. He had Thor Ragnarok about a year later, in 2017. And that movie was a gigantic hit. So, he already had good projects. I guess he decided to make more money off of Ghostbusters. Not anything bad there, but get my point with what's going on here. So yeah, Ghostbusters was a failure. And think about it from my end. I grew up with Ghostbusters as a kid. I grew up with that movie. That movie was it didn't kill my childhood, like some people, that's going overboard, but it did not make me enthused at all about any sort of all-female remakes of a film. Which, oh boy, did they really fuck that up. But, again, this is not a rant on all-female movies, this is a rant on SJW movies. Case in point, Star Wars. I am the biggest Star Wars fan you'll find. Look, I like the Star Wars movies. I even like the new ones. Force Awakens, Rogue One. I even like Last Jedi and Solo. Now, I know those movies have problems, and I will point them out one day when if I ever review them on this YouTube channel. But I'm not going to sit here with rose-tinted glasses and think everything is fine. Like Officer Barbrady from South Park. Move along, people. Nothing to see here. I'm not going to be wearing I'm not going to be drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not wearing the rose-tinted glasses. I'm not doing that. Because I know those movies have problems, especially with what we saw with The Last Jedi. I still have the friggin' poster right here on my wall. I'm looking directly at it. I'm looking directly at it. I still like the movie. I still do. But looking at it a year later after it came out, the movie's got problems. Now, several of those things, a lot of the things that some people made about the movie don't personally bother me. They don't. But the things that do are the things that are so forced and so in your face about. Are all the SJW shit. Look at the movie. Now, I don't care if I'm spoiling anything right now, because this isn't about spoilers and non-spoilers. It's not what this video is about. Look at what happened in the movie. And speaking of which, look at what happened in Ghostbusters. Look at what happened in Ghostbusters. With all the men in those movies either being an asshole, a jerk, or completely inept and stupid. And made to look like a complete fool. That's how they portrayed their men. They portrayed the women as these strong, female empowerment women. Because screw the men, the women are great. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'll get to a point. There's something I want to say. I really want to say it. But I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Look at what happened in The Last Jedi. Not Solo. Thankfully, Solo really toned down on the SJW crap. But look what happened in Last Jedi. 4 different female characters. 4 different characters. All I had an issue with. Looking back on it a year later. I've watched the movie again. Looking back on it, I've had issues with 4 different characters. There was 2 I had characters as soon as I saw the movie. But then there was the other 2 that didn't grow on, that grew on me as time went on. Let's get to one of them right away. Rose. Remember, speaking of the name Rose Tinted Glasses, remember Rose? She was the Asian girl who I guess they're trying to hook up with Finn, the character Finn. Yeah, that ending. Now, I actually do kind of like Rose as a character. I do kind of like Rose. She was a quirky, funny character that didn't now, it might be grating to some people. I can see where some people might have a problem with her. Didn't personally grate me. Because I do like what they were trying to do with the character. Until the ending. Until the ending. Finn is going to destroy this cannon thing or whatever on that ice planet, which was clearly a ripoff of Hoth, even though it wasn't Hoth. This isn't Empire Strikes Back. He was going to destroy that by sacrificing himself. Personally, I think I would have liked it because it would have added a sense of realism to the film. And then, in the most unrealistic thing, Rose gets in the way, crashes into him, says that, and, you know, she's almost unconscious at this point, but before she loses consciousness, Finn's like, why did you do that? He's like, You don't sacrifice yourself. You do things for the people you love. Implying she loves him. Okay, first of all, that's stupid. Second of all, there's been no real romantic connection there. A connection of, different ideologies maybe, but not a romantic connection until the ending right there. Number 3, that was stupid. Number 4, this made Finn look so weak. Now, it didn't make him look stupid, thank God, but it made him look weak. And all it did was it took a self-sacrificing character that Finn ended up becoming, instead of the kind of selfish one we saw at the beginning of Force Awakens, and completely turned that on its head. Because we gotta make the women look strong. They have to fight for their men. They have to prevent their men from sacrificing themselves, even though it would have served much better the story. Now, you're probably thinking, Samoan fan, well, that's just one little thing, and it's not that much of an SJW thing. Okay, you might be right. Let's look at the other 3 characters. Let's look at Rey. Now this is the one character that I didn't really get some of the hatred for until I saw the movie again recently, and then I figured it out. Why several people don't like the character. Why she's called a Mary Sue. It's because for a beginner, she's way too damn strong. I mean, she's hardly had any training. She's hardly had any real experience when it comes to Jedi stuff. And yet, she can... Sorry about that. Just had chicken for dinner. She can fight like apparently a fully skilled Jedi can, or at least a fully skilled Padawan can at the very least. Which, if you've seen some of the previous, the prequel movies where Padawans, experienced ones, can't be and are pretty friggin' good at their job, she's not like that. Apparently, she doesn't need a teacher because she can do it on her own. They don't actually say that, but that's basically what's implied. Look at Anakin. Look at Luke. When they both started out, both of them had some flaws. Maybe more in the movie department when it comes to Anakin, but still, they both had character flaws. Both of them had problems. Both of them weren't fully trained warriors until the sequel, keep in mind. Luke wasn't trained with a lightsaber until Episode 5. Anakin, we didn't see Anakin do anything with a lightsaber at all until Episode 2, when he was already a trained Padawan by this point. But both of them still had problems. Anakin was overzealous and was way too quick to charge in a battle without thinking, while Luke was similar. He went into battle with Vader without thinking, but compared to Anakin at the time, he was just simply too inexperienced to fight him, even though he did a pretty good job. But both of them failed, and look what happened at the end of both movies. They lost an arm, or a hand in Luke's case. He didn't really lose his whole arm; it was just simply his hand. But still, he lost a limb. Look at Rey. And look at Rey in the first movie. She was pretty good. And then you had that one little scene in the end when Kylo Ren said, "I can show you the ways of the Force." And then all of a sudden, she closes her eyes, she focuses, and then all of a sudden she's kicking some ass. Now, in a vacuum, I could excuse that because, A, we saw her kick some ass with it pretty good with a staff early in the movie. B, Kylo Ren had just fought Finn and got sliced by him with a lightsaber. C, he got hit in the stomach area with Chewie's crossbow, and a crossbow that, by the way, can send a guy flying, and Kylo Ren took it like a champ. So there were several little things going on that, like, okay, dumb as that might have looked, I could excuse that. I could, excuse that. Last Jedi? That completely took me out of the moment. We see her train like she's a Padawan, like using different, lightsaber techniques around like a rock, which, granted, led to a funny scene, but a funny moment. But still, we had that. She, was doing her lightsaber stuff around the rock. She was, she apparently is so overpowered that she can fight off Snoke's guards, very experienced guards who at least one of them was able to put Kylo Ren in a situation where he couldn't really defend himself, and yet she is able to kill him like it's nothing, and had to save his ass on top of that. They have made her such an overpowered character. Now, granted, they emphasize the fact that she had an unnatural amount of power earlier in the movie, which, in terms of the Force, I could let that slide. The lightsaber stuff, though, she has no experience. She was never taught in the ways of technique. Luke was. We didn't see it, but Luke was. Anakin was over the course of 10 years, and he wasn't nearly that good. Or, well, he was, but that was a different time frame. But no, Rey is just so overpowered because we got to make her a powerful female character. Nope. You just made her look like way too strong. You made her look like a video game character. And that's exactly what she turned out to be. She turned into a friggin' video game character. Then we have the two people I have most problems with in the movie. You got Leia, and these are the simplest to explain, thank God. You got Leia, who basically went all Superman on us as soon as, in the scene early in the movie, in like the first 15 minutes or so, where the front part of the ship was blown up. She went out to space. You saw it. She basically went Superman on our asses and flew back into the ship. That I always found was completely asinine and retarded. I always found that to be completely stupid. Why? Well, the answer is simple. The answer is because no Jedi has ever flown. Jedi don't fly. I don't care if this is space. Jedi do not fly. If Jedi could fly, Yoda would have went like Dragon Ball Z and thrown a friggin' ki blast at Emperor Palpatine back when Revenge of the Sith was going on. He would have done that to him when that happened, and there would be no more need for episodes 4, 5, 6, and however many movies there are. There was no need. Problem solved. Jedi do not fly. She's not even a trained Jedi. This isn't the extended the extended universe where, or in the books where she trained to be a Jedi. No. She's not even a trained Jedi. That was so stupid. Then you had the part I hated most about the movie. General Holdo. This isn't one moment with each of these characters, like for the previous characters. This is the entire character of its own. A woman who's in charge, who doesn't tell her men anything, that ends up leading to a coup, who doesn't tell anybody what the plan is, and is so smug and so arrogant that after about 5 minutes, I figured out that I hated this character. Because I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to go for the leader. They're trying to teach Poe a lesson that, hey, you shouldn't have to charge headlong into things. I get that. But not telling someone the plan? That's completely stupid. Completely stupid. Not telling someone the plan, that's just fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. You think a general would have gotten away with that? A general would have been court-martialed, and he would have been dishonorably discharged as soon as that shit went out. Nope. Nope, that didn't happen. Go look at the scenes on YouTube, or online, or on DVD, whatever. You'll see what I mean. I'm not going to go into any more detail, because I'm fucking done with that shit. Holdo, suck my red cock. And my cock's not even red. But that's not it, is it? They did it to Ghostbusters. They did it to Star Wars. Then they do it to a series that, granted, I didn't really grow up with. The Oceans movies. And of course, if you remember Oceans, Oceans 11, Oceans 12, Oceans 13, they were a set of movies created by Steven Soderbergh back in the early to mid 2000s. And earlier this movie, they made Oceans 8. It came out. It had some pretty reasonable star power. You got Sandra Bullock. You got Anne Hathaway. You had a few other, big name actors in there. But the movie ended up not being too well. I can't give any details because I have not seen the movie. I have not seen it. But I've not heard very favorable reviews. In fact, the reviews I've heard were anything but favorable. At best, it was lukewarm. At worst, it sucked. On top of that, there's something that both Ghostbusters and Ocean's 8 have in common. They didn't make a lot of money at the box office. So you have this recurring pattern. Okay, didn't fail the first time. Let's try it again. And maybe it made more money than Ghostbusters did, but it still failed at the box office. So that's three proven movies that have shown us so far that SJW crap in films do not work. They do not work. For good reason. I mean, when will these idiots get it? That putting your SJ political propaganda, that say the female empowerment, the feminists, when will they learn that putting this shit in your movie does not work, and more than anything, it kills whatever interest people might have in another movie. Star Wars got lucky. Last Jedi made over $1 billion. And, of course, they got the corporate machine of Disney right behind it. So, hopefully they'll amend their mistakes for Episode 9. I think there are still going to be problems, but at least they're making an effort to change. But that leads me to what I really want to talk about. It's 27 minutes. I might as well talk about what I really wanted to get to. They're at it again. The SJWs are fucking at it again. They are giving us the feminist bullshit with 2 movie franchises that I personally love, that I'm fond of. One of which is because it came from my childhood. The other which is that over the span of time of 10 years and 20 movies, it has shown me that it can be proven to be great. And that they've earned our trust as fans. And as makers of film. Let's get into that one, actually, because I gotta save the best for last. Let's get into Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain Marvel. You've all heard the recent things that have been going on. The underwhelming trailers. I wasn't totally underwhelmed by the trailers, but looking back, I could see where people had problems. What made it worse, and yeah, it ruined my enjoyment of the trailers quite a bit. The feminism SJW campaign in the advertisement. If you've seen the trailers, you know what I'm talking about. The moment where they say, like, they emphasize the words the letter H-E-R, the word her in the phrase a hero. They emphasize that. That is not a good thing. That is never a good thing. It's always bad when they do that. Because all you're doing is emphasizing that, hey, we have a woman in our lead now. And you should go see it because it's a woman. And she is strong. And is this starting to sound familiar? Is it starting to sound familiar? It sounds like Ghostbusters and Star Wars with Rey and all those female characters all over again. And what do you know? The chickens are seemingly coming home to roost. Even Marvel, as great as they've made their name in the last 10 years, they are not immune to this. They are not immune at all. Star Wars wasn't immune. Now Marvel's not immune. Look, say what you will about what the DC Extended Universe have done, but when they made Wonder Woman, they didn't advertise the movie around the fact that it was a woman in the lead role. They advertised a movie that had a lot of action, that had some sort of mythology part of it, had good character development, and, oh, by the way, there just so happened to be a woman in the lead role. They didn't emphasize the fact that it was a woman for the sake of it being a woman. This trend is fucking up a lot of the shit that makes us like film. It is completely just throwing it down the shitter. Now, does that mean Captain Marvel's going to be a bad movie? Maybe, maybe not. Me personally, I want it to be good. I have hope. I still have a little bit of hope for it to be good. But I've seen enough to make me really doubt how good this movie's going to be. When it was first coming out, I was like, okay, this is going to be like Wonder Woman. Let's go. And then I saw the trailers. I heard the reactions. I rewatched the trailers. And yeah, now my faith is kind of notched down. It was up here, and now it's kind of down here. Not completely here, but you get what I mean. It's really hard. It's really hard to love something in film that, you know, that stuck with you, and now they're perverting it for their own political propaganda. And this doesn't just go for SJW stuff. It goes for anything that has political propaganda in it. Case in point, Brie Larson. Now, and Brie Larson, by the way, she's the one playing Captain Marvel. She's playing the new character. I know about Brie Larson because I saw her in Kong Skull Island. And I've been following the Monsterverse, and I like the Monsterverse, and she was a character in that movie. Not a great character, but to be fair, the movie, it didn't have the greatest writing. And the two main characters, and keep in mind, Tom Hiddleston was in the movie, he's Loki. And he wasn't exactly Loki-like. But still, you know, like, okay, that's just one movie. There was a reason why they did what they did. Let's look past that. This film is not lighting the world on fire. It's not lighting me on fire. Captain Marvel is. And Brie Larson is a big reason why. Half the time she looks bored in the trailers, and I had to look back on the images, and yeah, half the time she's got like the unemotional face, but it still makes her look kind of bitchy. You ever heard of the term RBF? Look up that term RBF on Google. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. Look, and then Google, then image search it, and it's even more apparent. And Brie Larson, you know, her coming out and saying that, you know, white male critics were the reason why the movie A Wrinkle in Time failed. Hang on a second.
You lower your voice just a bit, please.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. It's 8:43. So, hopefully in the next 17 minutes, which is going to be 9 o'clock, I can wrap this up. But you get my point. Wrinkle of Time failed. Not because white male critics hated on the movie, which I'm sure they did. It failed because, quite frankly, it wasn't a very good movie. I remember a few years ago, God, what's her name? Meryl Streep. You know who Meryl Streep is. She's been in a ton of movies going back decades. And there was a movie she made a few years ago. I haven't seen it. It's called Suffragate. I heard it was very boring. And she lashed out against several online sites that gave it bad reviews. Particularly, she ratted out Rotten Tomatoes. In particular, she tried to bring Rotten Tomatoes down. And I've seen this before. It happened with Meryl Streep. It happened with Brie Larson. Believe it or not, and like I mentioned earlier, it happened with Melissa McCarthy with Ghostbusters, saying that I guess men are just afraid of, female lead characters. Even though she totally does not get why we hated the Ghostbusters remake. She does not get it. These actors that go out and they basically diss their audience because they made a bad movie. Or they made a very underwhelming movie. Is a complete joke. And a complete miscarriage of what it means to be a film actor. And Brie Larson going out and trying to destroy white male critics, as she calls it. I think particularly she said 40-year-old white male dudes. I think those are the words she used. That does not incite a lot of confidence in me. That she went out and said that, as she's going to be starring in a lead role by Marvel Film Studios. By the Marvel Studios of Disney. In a film series, she's going to be, I actually counted, she's going to be in the 21st Marvel Cinematic Universe film. It's coming out in March. And the fact that she's saying this crap, and by the way, the film, the film is being advertised as, as almost like an SJW campaign. And from what I heard, the film is being released on I forget the name of it, like International Women's Day or something like that. If that's true, then I do not have hope. I mean, well, I do have hope still, but I'm not even going to watch it in theaters. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not going to watch it in theaters. I'm going to find a way to stream it online. I'll listen to the reviews. I'll find a way to stream it online. But I'm not going to sit there and have my intelligence insulted while paying money, good money, to see a movie that I wish to succeed, and it doesn't. That's not happening. But there's still one more thing. There's still one more thing I got to get to before I call it quits. I mentioned another film series that has been doing it SJW, and in particular, feminizing it. Kind of like what they did with Ghostbusters, kind of like what they did with Ocean's 8, and what certain film studios or whoever's making the film, what they're trying to do with Lord of the Flies. Let's hope to God that doesn't leave production. Let's hope it stays in production hell for many, many, many years to come. If it ever sees the light of day. If it does, I hope I'll be dead before I see it. But this film. This is a film series that stuck with me ever since I was a kid. In fact, hang on a second. I have a bunch of VHS tapes. Recognize this? Yeah. Good old Arnie. Terminator. I have the original 3. Got Terminator 2. Wait, that's Terminator 3. This is Terminator 2. I got all 3 of them. These films have stuck with me since I was a kid. 2 of them came out before I was even born. I saw Terminator Salvation, thought it was pretty good. Maybe not great, but pretty good movie. Saw Terminator Genesis, very underwhelmed, not that good. Had some good action, that was about it. And then I see this picture. Now granted, this picture's been out for months. How I didn't see it before, I don't know. But I see this picture. And, oh boy, this lit me up big time. And this was just like a week ago. Maybe even less. About a week ago. This film, the Terminator 6 or the real Terminator 3, whatever you want to call it, has lost all hope with me as soon as that first picture came out and the description came out. Now, if you've seen the photo, you already know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the photo, I'll put it up on my Twitter. I'll link my Twitter in the description box down below. I'll put it up on Twitter. And to think, I actually had hope. I was like, my friend at the library, he works there, he tells me, oh, James Cameron's coming back for this one. This is going to be the conclusion that we all deserve. I'm thinking to myself, okay, come on. Give it to us. Give us what we want. Give us some Arnie. Give us, because Linda Hamilton's coming back as Sarah Connor. Give us some of that good shit. Then I see the photo. As soon as I saw it, I laughed. I cried on the inside. And I basically said, fuck it. And they're never going to learn. They are never going to learn. It's just inevitable. They're not going to learn. They don't want to learn, apparently. But if you haven't seen the video, if you haven't seen the photo, and you want me to hear my thoughts on it, well, it's a photo with three female characters. This in of itself is not a bad thing, at first glance. Sarah Connor is on the very right of the photo, like, well, actually my camera might be weird, but she's on the very right of the photo. She looks like a badass, as she should, because if you saw Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2, she was already pretty badass. That I'm happy about. Then you have the other two characters. You have a short little Mexican girl on the left, or Latina. Is that the politically correct girl? Yeah. The politically correct face? I don't give a shit. She's Mexican. Then you have the woman on the middle. Now, I actually sent a text of this photo to my friend, to one of my best friends. He asked me, no joke, he asked me if the person in the middle was a man. And I had to tell him, dude, that person you're looking at is a woman. He was shocked. This is well, I didn't see his face, but I'm pretty sure he was shocked. And I saw it on a video. I read they told me what the description was, saying that the woman in the middle is like a Terminator human hybrid. If you saw Terminator Salvation, it's the same kind of character than what we got with the in that movie. Very similar kind of character. So a human with robot parts, basically, is what they're saying. And the woman on the left, and the description said this. It was like now I could be misinterpreting some of the words, but for all intents and purposes, they said that the woman on the way left is basically a next generation Sarah Connor. And the woman in the middle is supposed to be a next generation Terminator. What I mean by Terminators, you know, an icon Terminator, like how Arnold was. Arnold was, of course, an icon as a Terminator. We saw him in the first 3 movies. A Terminator with his likeness, because Arnold wasn't acting at that point, made an appearance in Salvation. Arnold came back in Terminator Genesis. He's the linchpin in a lot of ways of the franchise. Not all the ways, I'll mention that. But then, and it's like, okay, it seems very clear what they're trying to do with this one photo. Why did they release this one photo? It's very clear. They're trying to push a female political agenda with the new Terminator movie. How do I know this? Well, there's 2 reasons. One, there was an article that explained the photo. This was a very biased article. And how do I know it was biased? Well, when they were talking about it, it said, and one of the most important things about this photo, there's no men. I'm like, if this is a woman, she's a feminist. If this is a guy, in the words of Birdman, he's a cuck. What are they doing? What are they doing? You want to know how else I know this? I read that description. I reread it, and then I realized something. I realized something. They mentioned everyone. They even mentioned Arnold. How Arnold was on film not directing, but he was on the film set. So he's going to be a character. Empty bottle, of course. They say he's going to be on film directing. Not I keep saying directing. What's wrong with me? He's going to be in the movie. Arnold, in some way, shape, or form, is going to be in the movie. As a main character, as a quick cameo, I don't know. But I know this. I know this. Guess who didn't? Guess who wasn't mentioned in that little description? Little important to a Terminator franchise. Very important to mention. His name. Maybe he's not that important. You may have heard him. His name is John Connor. That's right. John Connor, who really is the linchpin of the whole franchise. Not like the way Arnold is, and the fact that, he's always a presence, but, the whole reason why all these movies are happening is because it's John Connor. He's the reason why the humans need to revolt against the machines. He's the leader. He's the one to lead us to victory against Skynet. In the first movie, you never see him, but his presence is felt through his father and his mother in both Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor. Terminator 2. The whole reason why the whole point of the film is to protect John Connor from the T-1000. Terminator 3. It's to protect John Connor from Judgment Day. Terminator Salvation. John Connor, who is a sort of leader, but is not the complete leader of the human resistance. He is there to save his father, Kyle Reese, from being murdered. Terminator Genisys. He's the main villain of the movie. Do I think that's stupid? Yeah. But at least he had a point. At least there was a purpose with the John Connor character. Not a single damn mention of John Connor. Not word one about what happened with John Connor. Not a single word. Not what happened to him, not if he's alive or dead. I assume he has to be alive. After all, unless they're trying to pull a rabbit out of the ass and say, oh, we don't need John Connor, we got another female trained hero. If that's what they're trying to go for, then fuck this movie. Fuck this movie in the ass. If not, then it was a really stupid thing not to mention John Connor, who's playing him, who is, what's his status is, who's playing, what's his role in the movie? Is it big or is it small? Is it somewhere in the middle? No. Instead what they seem to be doing is what exactly they failed at every single point someone has tried to do this. Enforce a female political agenda for female empowered characters. It also doesn't help that the woman in the middle, who's supposed to be a Terminator human hybrid, looks like a man. She looks, I know I'm going to piss off a couple people by saying this, she looks like a lesbian. She looks like a complete dyke. And I mean that in the most non-politically correct way I can say it. She looks like a dyke. If you want a complete female stereotype on what a dyke looks like, that woman in the middle of that picture is exactly the description of what a one looks like. They've done it with Ghostbusters. They've done it with Star Wars. They did it with Ocean's 8. And now they're doing it to Captain Marvel and the Terminator. When will these fucking people learn that enforcing some kind of female political agenda is always a bad thing? It's always a bad thing. And by the way, and my friend at the library told me this, oh, James Cameron's a part of it, so it's got to be good. Ivan Reitman was a part of the Ghostbusters reboot. That did nothing. He helped produce that movie. That did nothing. Steven Soderbergh, who made the Ocean's movies, he produced Ocean's 8. That did nothing to help. And guess who the hell is helped producing this movie? James Cameron is back producing a Terminator movie. That's not going to do anything either. Because we've seen it. We've seen it with Ivan Reitman. We saw it with Steven Soderday. It did not work, and it's not going to work this time. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Even if it makes an okay amount of money, it's not going to work. Because people are going to shit on it. I hope they change my mind. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I love these movies. I really hope that I am wrong and that we end up getting really good movies and that are also successful. I really hope that happens. Do I think it's going to happen? If you had to twist my arm and put a gun to my head, I'm going to say the answer is no. The answer is that it's probably not going to happen. So, conclusion. SJW films need to stop. They need to end. They need to burn and die in a hole. And to quote, and I love the guy, and to quote the Saw Monster, sort of, and kind of twist his words a little bit. You have some of the best creative minds and the best actors on the planet, and the best creative works that you can fiddle around with and use to your advantage to make a great film and a great film series. Stop enforcing your fucking political agenda for females, or feminists, SJWs, whatever you want to call them, and fucking act like you're making a great movie. I'm done here. I'll see you later, guys.